a land of more than 100 million people, the birthplace of coffee, the headquarters of the African Union, and one of the oldest continuously inhabited regions on Earth. But Ethiopia is more than just a country. It is a civilization whose story stretches back thousands of years, through empires, legends, invasions, and survival against impossible odds. And unlike most of Africa, Ethiopia did something few nations in the world ever managed. It resisted colonization. This is the extraordinary history of Ethiopia. Human settlement in Ethiopia stretches deep into prehistory. But the earliest known kingdom in the region was Dṟmt. It existed around the same time as ancient Egypt and Nubia. Across the Red Sea, in what is now Yemen, was the powerful kingdom of Sheba. The two regions appear to have been closely connected. Some historians even believe they may once have been part of the same cultural world. According to Ethiopian tradition, this is where the legendary Queen of Sheba lived. The story says she traveled to Jerusalem to meet King Solomon of Israel. There, she converted to his faith and bore a son. That son would return to Ethiopia and begin a royal dynasty claiming direct descent from Solomon himself. Ethiopian tradition even maintains that the Ark of the Covenant was brought to Ethiopia during this time, and that it has been guarded there for over 2,500 years. Around 400 BC, the early kingdom fragmented into several smaller states. One of them would rise above the rest. Aksum. Beginning around the 1st century BC, Aksum unified the northern Ethiopian highlands. From their base on the Ethiopian plateau, they expanded into a powerful empire. By the 1st century AD, Aksum controlled one of the most important trade routes on Earth. Goods flowed between the Roman Empire and India, passing directly through Aksumite ports. Gold coins minted by Aksumite kings have been found everywhere from the Mediterranean to India. One Persian scholar even described Aksum as one of the 4 great powers of the world, alongside Rome, Persia, and China. In 325 AD, the Aksumite king Ezana made a historic decision. He converted to Christianity. Christianity soon became the official state religion. Aksum even became the first state in history to place the cross on its coins. Ezana expanded his empire northward, defeating the ancient kingdom of Kush. After nearly 1,000 years of existence, Kush collapsed, but Aksum was still rising. Under King Kaleb, the empire invaded Arabia in the year 520 AD to defend persecuted Christians in Yemen. For a moment, Aksum's influence stretched across the Red Sea. But a new power was rising. The rapid expansion of the Arab Empire in the 7th century changed everything. Trade routes shifted. Aksum was cut off from the Roman world and the vast wealth that came with it. Slowly, the empire declined. Its influence retreated back into the Ethiopian highlands. But Ethiopia itself did not disappear. New kingdoms would rise from its legacy. Around the year 1000, Ethiopian tradition speaks of a devastating event. A powerful pagan queen overthrew the old Aksumite rulers. Churches were destroyed, royal families hunted down, but eventually a new dynasty rose, the Zagwe dynasty. Their most famous ruler was King Lalibela. He built one of the most incredible architectural wonders in the world. 11 massive churches carved directly into solid rock. Entire buildings sculpted from single pieces of stone. Lalibela hoped to create a new Jerusalem in Ethiopia after the real Jerusalem fell to Muslim armies in 1187. Today, those churches still stand. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Ethiopian history, make sure to like the video and subscribe. It really helps the channel and lets me keep making more history documentaries like this. Now, back to the story. Despite the achievements of the Zagwe rulers, many Ethiopians questioned their legitimacy. They did not claim descent from King Solomon. So in 1270, a new dynasty seized power, the Solomonic dynasty. They would rule Ethiopia for more than 700 years. But their rule was not always secure. During the 16th century, the Muslim Adal Sultanate, backed by the Ottoman Empire, invaded Ethiopia. For years, the empire nearly collapsed. But with the help of Portuguese soldiers and firearms, the Ethiopians pushed the invaders back. From 1769 to 1855, Ethiopia entered a chaotic period known as the Age of Princes. Central authority collapsed. Regional warlords ruled their own territories. The emperor became little more than a symbolic figurehead. This changed when Emperor Tewodros II reunited the empire. But his reign ended dramatically. When British forces invaded Ethiopia in 1868, Tewodros chose to take his own life rather than surrender. British troops looted the capital and carried centuries of Ethiopian royal treasures back to Britain. Soon another threat appeared. Egypt invaded Ethiopia in 1874, hoping to control the Nile. But the Ethiopians crushed the Egyptian army in 2 decisive battles. Then came an even greater challenge: Italy. In 1896, Italian forces attempted to colonize Ethiopia, but they made a fatal mistake. They underestimated the Ethiopian army. At the Battle of Adwa, Emperor Menelik II led his forces to a stunning victory. A European colonial army had been defeated by an African empire. It shocked the world. But Italy would not forget. In 1935, dictator Benito Mussolini invaded Ethiopia again, this time with overwhelming force: 500,000 soldiers, hundreds of aircraft, tanks and artillery. Despite fierce resistance, Ethiopia fell. Emperor Haile Selassie fled into exile, but the occupation never fully succeeded. With the help of Ethiopian resistance fighters and British forces, Italy was finally defeated in 1941. Haile Selassie returned to the throne. Selassie ruled Ethiopia for decades, introducing slow political reforms. But many believed change was happening too slowly. In 1974, after severe famine and economic crisis, the Ethiopian monarchy was overthrown. A military regime took power and attempted to create a Soviet-style socialist state. The result was devastating: civil war, famine, mass executions. Millions suffered. In 1991, rebel forces overthrew the military regime. A new constitution created a federal republic. Regions were even given the right to secede. Eritrea exercised that right immediately and became an independent country. The rest formed the modern nation of Ethiopia. Ethiopia has survived ancient empires, religious wars, foreign invasions, colonial conquest, and revolution. Few countries on earth have endured so much for so long. And yet Ethiopia remains one of the most historically unique nations in the world. This has been Epimetheus. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next history documentary. And here's one fascinating bonus fact. The Rastafari movement, which began in Jamaica in the 1930s, believes Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was the second coming of Christ. History has many surprises. Thanks for watching.